Hi Rovers, as some of you might know, today is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. With that in mind, we're going to start what we call Protect Week here in Maryland. Protect Week is designed to help all of our more vulnerable communities avoid identity theft by giving them the tools that they need in order to report abuse, as well as the knowledge, tips, and know-how to avoid scams in the first place. We hope that you enjoy all of our programming this week, but especially this video from our Deputy State Attorney for Anne Arundel County, Brian Marsh. Thank you.
Good morning, and welcome to the Office of the State's Attorney for Anne Arundel County's Communities Against Senior Exploitation program. My name is Brian Marsh, and I am the Deputy State's Attorney for Anne Arundel County. Maryland's Protect Week, as you know, was created to help protect our older Americans from financial exploitation, and it begins on June 15th, which has been designated World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. So on behalf of Anne Colt-Litis, who is our State's Attorney, we are very pleased to be here giving you this presentation. Normally we would give these presentations in person, but due to the current circumstances, we are trying this new way of sharing online. So on behalf of Anne Colt-Litis, our State's Attorney, we hope that you all are safe and healthy and doing well during these times. We look forward to when we can go back out and give these presentations in person at our senior centers here in Anne Arundel County. So because I'm a lawyer, I just start off with this. I've borrowed some of the material that you'll see in the following slides from other organizations and groups. Because I'm doing this free of charge and for educational purposes, I'm not in violation of any sort of copyright laws. So I just like to throw that up there as well. So what we're going to talk about today is the financial exploitation of our county and our nation's seniors. It is a significant problem, as you can see. Each year, an estimated $3 billion is swindled from our American seniors. And so what we want to do as part of this program is to try to help prevent you all from being the victim of this type of crime, because that would be a victory to us. We don't need to see you in court and try to hold the bad guys and gals accountable. I would rather you not be the victims of crime to begin with. So here's just some statistics before we get started, showing you a significant number of fraud, identity theft, and other reports that are made each year. 2018 was the most recent year I could find. You can see there's almost 3 million reports made. Additionally, the reports by type that are made, you can see the majority of the reports are what are classified as fraud. You can see identity theft is kind of low. I think that's because it probably spans a couple of different categories. And then you see the other category in there as well. Additionally, there's a significant amount of money that is taken from our nation's seniors. As you can see, our older citizens between the ages of 60 and 69 represent the highest number of reported frauds, as well as the highest amount of losses at $184 million. So what we're going to talk about first is identity theft in ways you can prevent yourself from becoming the victim of identity theft. I warn you now, the videos, the sound is a little bit ahead of the videos for whatever reason on this platform, but the message still gets through.
Identity theft happens. It's an unfortunate fact of modern life. But there are certain steps you can take to help keep your personal information from falling into the wrong hands. Every day you do things to protect what's most important to you. And you know what? You do them almost automatically. Routine things like looking both ways before you cross, brushing your teeth, and buckling your seatbelt. Another routine to get into is keeping tabs on your identity and personal information. Here are 5 easy ways you can do it. Read your credit card and bank statements carefully and often. Know your payment due dates. If a bill doesn't show up when you expect it, look into it. Read the statements from your health insurance plan. Make sure the claims paid match the care you got. Shred any documents with personal and financial information. Review each of your 3 credit reports at least once a year. It's easy and it's free. And before you know it, protecting your personal information can be as routine as locking your doors at night. For more tips and tools on dealing with identity theft, visit ftc.gov/ID theft. That's ftc.gov/ID theft.
So many thanks to the Federal Trade Commission for that video, very helpful. But let's dissect it a little bit so you can apply that to your everyday lives. Here are some pointers that I've come across in dealing with crimes against our nation's older and our county's older citizens. Medicare and Social Security, they will never call you on the phone and ask you for any sort of bank account information or Social Security number. You should never give out personal information over the phone when someone is calling you on the phone. And then as a third, review all medical bills. This is important too. We're seeing a rise in insurance fraud. So make sure you're reviewing all your medical bills to make sure that there aren't any services necessarily on there that you did not receive. So let's take those first two. Medicare and Social Security will never call and ask you for bank account number info. You know, if I were to ask everyone, if we were in a room, whether or not if someone called you on the phone and asked you to give you your Social Security number, of course you'd say no. But the way that they do this is very tricky. They usually call you at a time that you're not prepared for them. They catch you off guard. They indicate that there's been some sort of problem with your Medicare account or your Social Security account, or maybe your account has been frozen. We'll talk about this a little bit later. And in order for them to confirm who you are and therefore help you out, they're going to ask you for this personally identifying information. The easy thing for you all to remember is if someone calls you on the telephone, the call originates from someone else, and they ask you for personal identifying information, such as your Social Security number, a credit card number, a bank account number. Do not do that. You do not know where those telephone calls are coming from. You do not know whether the person on the other end of that call is a legitimate person. Do not give out your personal information. It's a little bit different if you are calling your bank or you are calling the Social Security Administration. The call originates from you. If you are calling these places and they need to verify who you are, you may need to provide some sort of personal identifying information. I hope that makes sense. So if the call is an incoming call to you, you should not give out any sort of personally identifying information. If you're calling someplace else because you've found and you're sure that the number you're calling is a real telephone number, then you can go ahead and give that information. Also, you might want to consider reducing the amount of items that you carry in public. There's a picture of your Social Security card there. You should never be carrying your Social Security card with you. I hope that you all are keeping that in a fireproof lockbox in your house. That is the safest place for it. Same thing with your Medicare card. I talked to some seniors about this, and they're always concerned that what if while they're out going grocery shopping, they take a fall or they get sick or get into a car accident. There's a fear out there that they aren't going to get the medical treatment that they need if they don't have their Medicare card on them. That is not true. You will get your medical care. I assure you, you will get your medical care. And you can always deal with your Medicare card later. But you don't want to keep that on you, because if your purse, your wallet is stolen, then someone has your Medicare card with them and they can do some havoc with that. If you have a doctor's appointment, a planned doctor's appointment, go ahead and take your Medicare card out of your lockbox, fireproof lockbox, and bring it with you for that appointment. Otherwise, leave it in your fireproof lockbox in your house. Same thing with your checkbook. Leave your checkbooks at home. There's a whole host of information on those checks: your name, your address, sometimes even your telephone number. And then at the bottom of every single check is a routing number and a checking account number. So that's a lot of information that if it gets in the hands of the wrong person, they can do a lot of damage with. So if you do, or you are paying a bill by check, or you're going to the grocery store and you know you're going to use a check, just bring one check with you. No need to bring the entire checkbook. Just bring that one check with you. Credit cards, same thing. Try to limit the number of credit cards that you're carrying with you at any time. That includes Macy's cards or any other store credit cards as well. You really should only carry one, maybe two credit cards that you know you're going to use. Keep the rest of them in that fireproof lockbox. And if you know you're going to go to Macy's and use your Macy's card, then go ahead and take it out of there. But there's really no need to carry it around with you at all times. Really limit the amount that you carry with you, just in case you're pickpocketed or your purse is stolen. They don't have all of this information from you. Always good advice is to invest in a shredder. There are two different kinds. There are kinds that shred up and down, and then there's more expensive ones that cross-cut. My advice is to get a cross-cut shredder. Well, I should say my advice is to get a shredder, first of all. And then my further advice is to get one of the cross-cut shredders. Just prevents anyone from being able to piece together paper that you may have thrown in the trash that has been just shredded with the regular old shredding machines. But shred any mail containing personal information that comes: credit card bills, bank statements, any sort of credit card offers. Make sure that you're shredding all that stuff, not simply tearing it up and putting it in the trash. Shredders are a really good investment to help prevent you from being the victim of identity theft. Also, consider not using your mailbox at the end of your driveway. You know, it's a great convenience to be able to go to the end of our driveways, put a letter in the mailbox, and then put the little flag up. But by putting that flag up, not only are you alerting the postman or woman to the fact that you have mail in there, you're also alerting the bad guys and gals out there that there might be something in that mail that they want to take a look at, such as a bill that you're paying with a check. And I told you all about the payment or the information that's on the bottom of the check. Maybe you're sending a gift card to your grandson or granddaughter. Maybe you're sending a check to your grandson or granddaughter for a birthday, or maybe cash. Please don't be doing that. But certainly consider not putting mail in the mailbox at the end of your driveway. Go to one of those blue mailboxes. I'm not sure if they have them at the senior centers, but they do have them elsewhere, fewer now than they had before. But still, that's a much better way to do things than placing mail in your mailbox at the end of the street. Another thing, if you're ordering new checks, again, a checkbox is a very readily apparent item. So if it's in your mailbox and a bad guy or gal is going around just looking in mailboxes, if they see that box, there's no surprise of what's in it. So they may try to steal that box of checks as well, to write checks, to pay bills, to do whatever they want to do with your money. So make sure that you're paying attention to those. And then one of the best things to do is to make sure that you're regularly checking your credit reports. And the way that you do that is for free, great word, free. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion all provide us with one free credit report in a 12-month period. And as you can see on this screen, there's the website that you can go to, annualcreditreport.com, along with a toll-free number as well if you'd rather call. But rather than ordering all 3 credit reports at once, because they're most likely going to have all of the same information on them, what I do is I order 1 credit report every 4 months. So I order one in January, at the beginning of January. I order another one in April or May. I order another one in September-ish, maybe August, September-ish. And I'm checking my credit report once every 4 months so that I'm sure that no one has opened any sort of accounts in my name and that I don't have any delinquent bills or anything like that. So that's really useful. Beware of those credit reports that aren't really free. If you were to go online, some places try to charge you for like a credit monitoring program. And if you want to sign up for that, that's great, but you're entitled to a free report by going to annualcreditreport.com every 12 months. Okay, here's another scam that we have been seeing, an impending lawsuit scam.
And now the Maryland judiciary is warning the public about court scams that are popping up once again. I-Team reporter Lisa Robinson has more on what to look for and how you can protect yourself.
Serving on a jury is a civic duty, and most people take it very seriously when they get a summons in the mail. But what if it comes in an email?
There's an email scam where people will receive an email that says notification to appear in court. That is a fraudulent email, and if people click on it, it will put a virus on their computer.
It's a problem seen across the nation in local and federal courts across the country are warning the public. The emails are often dressed up to look like they are from the court. And it's not just emails that are being used. Scammers are using the phone to scare people.
It's a telephone scam where a person is posing as a representative from the court. They use a judge by name. They tell the person that they're in contempt for not appearing for jury duty, and they try to collect a payment over the phone, usually by a prepaid card.
The federal system has an e-juror program. The court never requests personal identification information be sent directly in an email response.
If people get a suspicious email, they should delete it, not open any attachments or links. If people get a suspicious phone call, they should hang up.
The Maryland judiciary says the court does not call or email any Maryland resident. It sends official notifications by letter if you have a court case or a jury summons. Lisa Robinson, WBAL TV 11 News.
Okay, so some things to kind of talk about there. Again, our data is from 2018. There has been no data released for 2019 yet, but we did see a 32% increase in this particular type of crime. Again, just by way of reviewing, you may get a call from someone indicating that they're part of a local, state, or federal law enforcement agency. Again, this is a call originating from someplace else, and they're calling you. They're saying to, or they're trying to scare you by saying that there's a warrant out for your arrest unless a fine is paid, or there's a warrant out because you failed to appear for jury duty. And again, what I told you before, I subscribe to the rules of three, so I'm going to repeat myself a few times in the hope that I make sure that you all understand this. You know, these are calls coming from other people, and they're trying to alarm you and scare you and catch you off guard. Because again, no one would readily give out any sort of information like that to a stranger on the phone. But suddenly you're called at 7 o'clock at night, maybe when you're getting ready for bed, 8:30, somewhere around there. And all of a sudden someone calls and says that there's this warrant out for your arrest, and you've got to quickly take care of it or else the fines will double. Again, that's the tactic: scare you, catch you off guard. Be advised, and I'm going to say this again and again too, if anyone ever asks you to send them money via Western Union or a wire, that should be a big red flag. That is something that these scammers do all the time. It's asks you to wire money to them, or it asks you to go buy gift cards, to go buy prepaid gift cards and then give them the number off the back of it. That is a scam every single day of the week. So please, if anything, if anyone ever calls you and asks you to wire them something, please be advised that that is a scam, or to go buy gift cards. Scam, 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 scam every day of the week. So please be mindful of that. Again, if someone is calling you, be really wary about giving out, or careful about giving out credit card information over the telephone. Here's another scam we're seeing.
We are the first to report tonight on a new warning about a nationwide phone scam. Thieves are making millions, preying on people's concerns about social security numbers. Anne Arundel has details.
When Wayne Chertoff's caller ID told him the Social Security Administration was calling, he picked up to hear a woman's voice.
She said that in El Paso, Texas, someone was using my name and Social Security number to send thousands of dollars to Mexico and Colombia.
It was news to him.
She says, well, you have an arrest warrant out there.
To get rid of the warrant, he followed the woman's instructions, buying $1,400 worth of Google Play cards at this drugstore, then giving the numbers off the back of the cards to the scammers over the phone. She told him he'd get the money back, but
when nobody called me the following day, I knew I was screwed.
He's one of many. 76,000 people have complained to the Federal Trade Commission about the scam, which is already outpacing the old IRS call. Remember that one?
According to Section 101, there was a miscalculation over your tax filing.
The FTC says that scam took in $17 million in its peak year. This Social Security call scam is already up to $19 million for the year ending March 31st. The FTC's Monica Vaca.
Here, what we have are scammers who have decided that it's too recognizable to pretend to be the IRS anymore. They know that they can't get away with that nearly as easily, and so they've come up with a new angle, a new twist, something people aren't expecting.
Like a voicemail like this.
My name is Officer Richard Martin, and this call is regarding to your Social Security number.
Chertoff is sorry he ever answered. He's still out $1,400.
One thing led to another, and now I'm sitting here.
Well, Jeff, of course, you should never give out your Social Security number over the phone, but now the FTC is saying don't trust your caller ID either, which is bound to frustrate a lot of us who've come to rely on that feature.
Yes, but both some good reminders, but despicable that people do this. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you very much.
So again, many thanks to CBS News for that important story. Again, it boils down to, as the newscaster said, you should never give your social. Of course, I don't plan on giving my Social Security number out to anyone, and I would never do it as you're sitting here listening to me today. But again, just like that guy gets a call in the middle of the night, someone is using his Social Security number to send thousands of dollars to Mexico. There's a warrant out for his arrest. That's alarming. That'll be alarming to anyone. But just be mindful that that is the tactic that these people use. And as you heard, they asked him to go get gift cards. Again, scam, scam, scam. Gift cards, wiring money is a scam, scam, scam. So again, just so that you know, Social Security Administration is not going to call you to ask for your bank account information or Social Security number. Again, that is if a call is coming in from another call. There's never a fee charged to obtain a Social Security card, so make sure you know that. Social Security numbers do not get suspended, so if someone is using your Social Security number out there, don't let someone call you up and say that we've suspended your Social Security number and we need $20, $50, $100 in order to unsuspend it. And again, don't give out that personal information over the phone to someone that you don't know. Be really careful too, because as they said in that story, and we'll talk about a little bit later, the bad guys and gals can spoof telephone numbers. And so your caller ID might make it look like it's from an actual federal agency when in reality it's not. So just be really mindful of that. If you ever think that you're being scammed, this is the telephone number for the Social Security Administration's Inspector General's office, 1-800-772-1213. Okay, here's another scam.
There was a day when the villain was easy to spot. These days are different. Late one night, Grandpa receives a phone call. A young man says, "Hi, Grandpa, it's me."
Adam, is that you? You sound funny. Uh-oh, it's not really Adam. It's Freddie Fraudster posing as his grandson. And he now knows his real grandson's name.
Yeah, it's Adam. It must be the phone line, Grandpa. I'm out of the country and I've run into some trouble. I was arrested for drunk driving and I need bail money immediately. Grandpa believes it's really his grandson Adam and is now very concerned. Fake grandson Freddie explains, "I'm in jail, Grandpa, so you'll have to send the money to my attorney, who's really Freddie Fraudster. He's waiting for the money right now to bail me out. Oh, and please don't tell Mom or Dad. They would be so disappointed with me." Meanwhile, the real grandson Adam is safely asleep at home without any knowledge of what's happening. Grandpa, thinking his grandson Adam is really in jail, sends the money without verifying that his grandson is truly in trouble. Grandson Adam never got any money, but Freddie Fraudster, he got what he wanted.
So again, we're hearing a lot in this video too, repetitive as to what these scammers are doing. They're calling you in the middle of the night as a grandparent. They're saying that they're your grandson. There's an alarming situation that has occurred. Someone's been arrested or someone's in the hospital or someone needs help immediately. Again, you're caught off guard. You think it sounds like a grandson or a grandchild in that situation. Maybe you even tip your hand like the person did in that video by saying, "Adam, is that you?" And then all of a sudden the bad guy knows your grandson or granddaughter's name. So just be really careful of this type of scam that we've seen going around. Calls in the middle of the night, someone is in dire need of trouble. They always need money wired to them. And they always don't want you to tell anyone else. I mean, those are the hallmarks of a scam. So just make sure that you sort of keep that in mind. And so there, as you can see on the screen, that's just a review of everything that was said on there. So just be cognizant of that. Robocalls. So we talked a little bit about this too with the Social Security scam, that crooks and thieves and criminals are getting better at spoofing telephone numbers. So that when they call you on your cell phone, it looks like it's coming from a legitimate number, like a government number, or maybe it even looks like it's coming from your telephone number. I've had that too, where my phone rings and it looks like it's exactly my telephone. It may be tempting to go ahead and pick up those calls and see what it is that is going on, but I would ask you not to do that. So here's what we kind of see. So you do pick up the telephone. Let's see that it's a telephone number that you don't necessarily know. I don't know about you. I probably have 300 telephone numbers stored in my phone, and that's primarily who I get telephone calls from, or people who are in my phone, my family and my friends, my coworkers. And so if a number pops up on my phone that I don't recognize, I'm not necessarily answering it. But if I do, here are some of the warning signs. One, it's a telephone call from someone that you don't necessarily know. They're trying to sell you something, or they're telling you again that there's a warrant out for your arrest, or whatever it is. You've got to pay some sort of money up front, taxes or fees, something that would seem is like a driveway scam, where someone says that, you know, we can go out there and fix your driveway, seal your driveway, do whatever. We just need a, you know, $50 down payment. Give us your credit card number. Don't do that. That's a scam. And you have to make an immediate decision prior to the call ending or the offer will be rescinded. Sometimes when things are too good to be true, they're not necessarily true. So just be mindful of that. Slow it down. If someone calls you don't know and is asking you for this sort of stuff, take your time. It's not worth saving a couple of bucks on a job that needs to be done around the house if you're giving out your information to bad guys and gals who are going to do a heck of a lot more with it. So try to use your caller ID or voicemail or answer machine to screen. If you get a call from someone you don't know, don't answer it. If it's important, they'll leave you a message on your voicemail. I know it's really tempting to pick up the phone and see who it is. Maybe you're waiting for a call from your doctor's office or someone else. Let it go to voicemail. They'll leave a message. You'll hear what it is that they want. It's a great way to screen the calls. If you do pick up the phone and you hear that dreaded, 5-second pause or 7-second pause before someone says hello on the other end, that's some sort of a robocall as well. Or maybe you're talking to someone, just hang up the phone. If it gets to a point where you realize that it's one of these crooks, just hang up the phone. Don't worry about being rude whatsoever. Just hang up the phone. And again, the rule of threes, or I may be up to 4 or 5 now, remember to please don't give out your credit card number, your bank account number, or social security number to someone that calls you. Really, really important. All right, another scam.
There is an urgent warning from the IRS and the FBI about a scam that thousands have fallen for. Phone calls demanding money for taxes you don't owe. It's so widespread, the IRS placed it on a list of so-called dirty dozen tax frauds for this year. NBC's Olivia Stearns met with one woman who can't escape these threatening phone calls.
This call is an official final notice call from Internal Revenue Services. We have filed a lawsuit.
So he's saying final notice, and we have filed a lawsuit. Yes, it's scary.
That's the third call Gretchen Lindquist has gotten in just 3 weeks from someone pretending to be with the IRS and demanding money.
It's very upsetting. And then this morning, again, one more time, from a different phone number. I'm starting to feel threatened by the repeat calls.
Luckily, Gretchen, an IT analyst in Houston, is savvy enough to know these calls are bogus. 900,000 people have reported getting one of these calls, and the IRS estimates 5,000 have paid up. The IRS wants you to know it will never contact you for the first time by phone, demand credit card information, or threaten arrest. Gretchen and I decided to call one of the numbers back.
Thank you for calling investigation team of IRS. How can I help you?
You just called my friend and threatened her with a lawsuit, claiming to be a federal agency.
Good one. For Gretchen, though, it's no joke.
I don't even want to answer the phone. I'm about to get my cellular phone number changed.
Now, if you do get a call like this, the U.S. Attorney is asking that you please hang up the phone and report it to the FBI. You can do so right on the website or by phone. But Lester, remember, no matter what, the most important thing here is please do not give your social security number out over the phone.
How about that reaction? It's a prank.
It's a prank.
Unbelievable.
So there we heard it again. Please don't give your social security number out over the telephone. So again, the IRS here is not going to call you. Keep that in mind. They're not going to call you and demand immediate payments, say that they're going to send the police out to get you if you don't make immediate payment. They're certainly never going to require that you wire them money. They're never going to require that you send them gift cards or that you call them back after you go buy gift cards and read numbers off the back. You'll always have the opportunity to appeal some sort of IRS ruling. So even if they say that you owe them money for back taxes and they're calling on the phone, that doesn't make sense. You always have the ability to appeal those types of rulings. And so you would be well aware if there was a situation where you owed money to the IRS. Again, they're not going to ask you for credit card numbers over the telephone. They're never going to threaten arrest. No wiring, no gift cards, please. No wiring, no gift cards, please. So finally, I added this because, of course, we're dealing with the coronavirus and COVID-19 now, and unfortunately, there are people who are trying to take advantage during this time as well. So there was a period of time, and maybe even now, that we had trouble finding things like toilet paper or masks to go over your face or cleaning products. And so there still is a shortage maybe out there, and so maybe you found yourself Googling online trying to find those items. So what you might find are these online sellers that claim to have these products that you really want, the masks and the cleaning supplies or anything like that. But what should you do to be careful and to make sure that if you find one of these online sellers, that they're actually legitimate? Okay, so let's say the company is Brian Marsh Incorporated. I'm Brian Marsh. Let's say the company is Brian Marsh Incorporated, and I claim to have a bunch of masks that you want, masks and cleaning supplies. Before you go ahead and start clicking and calling and giving credit card numbers and all that sort of stuff, try Googling things like Brian Marsh Incorporated scam, or Brian Marsh Incorporated reviews or complaints. If you Google the name of my company along with scams and complaints and reviews, you'll be able to see maybe what other people the experiences that other people have had with Brian Marsh Incorporated. So you can see, maybe that gives you some sort of comfort whether or not this is actually a legitimate company or not. You can always contact. A great resource is the Consumer Protection Division for the Office of the Attorney General here in Maryland. The email address is on this screen right here. It's consumer@oag.state.md.us. The telephone number is 410-528-8662. That is a great resource. The Attorney General's office is phenomenal when it comes to helping out our citizens with consumer complaints. What else do we see? Fake charities. It's really reprehensible that people are out there trying to take advantage of our fellow citizens during this difficult time. So maybe you are looking for a way to help those in need. You need to be careful because the scammers sometimes use names that make it seem like it's a legitimate charity, like the Brian Marsh Charity to help the victims of COVID-19, or the Brian Marsh Charity to help children of deceased individuals from COVID-19, something like that that might sound legitimate, but might not be. But what do you do? How do you figure out what are the legitimate charities and which ones aren't? So these are the organizations that I've found that allow you to research charities. They will tell you whether the charity is legitimate. They will let you know how whatever money that you send them is spent, like what goes to overhead and what actually goes to the charity itself. So the first one is the Better Business Bureau Wise Giving Alliance. You can Google all of these. So the Better Business Bureau Wise Giving Analysis, the Charity Navigator, Charity Watch, and GuideStar. So those are the best ones. They're not going to tell you who to donate to. That's your decision to make. They'll just provide you with information that allows you to make the best decision possible about where to donate your money to. So those are some great organizations. In this situation, I recommend making any sort of donations with a credit card. Again, never a wire transfer, never a gift card, and never cash. Those are just not good ways to donate to charities. Credit cards are the best way to go ahead and donate to a charity. So if you've located a charity that you want to donate to, you contact that charity yourself. You can feel comfortable giving them your credit card because, again, the call originated from you, and you know that that telephone number is a legitimate telephone number. Another scam that we see are these medical breakthroughs. Maybe you got an email saying, testing kits now available for COVID-19, or vaccine or cure now available for COVID-19. It's very tempting to go ahead and open up that email and spend $19.99 to get a testing kit, or spend $59.99 to get a vaccine. But the fact is I make this video today, I think it's June 4th, there are no proven products out there that treats or prevents COVID-19. There just aren't. And so if you're getting an email from someone indicating that there is, that is a scam. Testing kits, again, most of these testing kits being advertised have not been approved by the FDA. I'm sure you've seen on the news those long lines to get tested at the admissions place here or in other locations as well. There is no online testing kits that have been approved by the FDA. So don't waste your money and go ahead and spend it on something else. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my presentation today. Again, I do look forward to a time where we can go out and give these presentations to you all in person. I enjoy that even more than I enjoy doing this. I hope that you're all well and continue to do well. My apologies for that delay in the videos. I'm sorry if that was a little bit annoying. I don't know why. I'm recording this via Zoom. I don't know why we're having that problem here, but hopefully the message came across. So on behalf of our state's attorney, Ann Arundel, I'm Brian Marsh again, the Deputy State's Attorney. I wish each of you the best in these days to come. Happiness, healthiness, and safety in the days to come. So be well. I look forward to seeing you soon, and take care.